I'll tell you the perfect double feature. The Polar Express and this film. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Over the past few months, I've been going back and catching up on Demon Slayer because I have just heard it's one of the best shows on TV. And you know what? It's pretty freaking great. So I was really excited for this movie. Finally came to American theaters. I actually got a digital screener for it, but I am so pumped to watch this film. Now, I will say, if you're not a fan of the anime or you just haven't seen it, it may not be the movie that has the impact that it has for fans, but there's still so much emotion and so many wonderful things happening, and you get caught up in the world. I say go back and watch Season 1 because if you haven't, there's some really good stuff that you're missing. So Tanjiro and his two friends boards the Infinity Train on a new mission with the Fire Hashira, or Rengoku, to defeat a demon who has been tormenting the people and killing the demon slayers who oppose it. I'm not going to spoil anything in this review, but we look at the impact that this movie has had in different locations. Japanese cinemas being the highest grossing movie of all time. That's incredible. Not only is that incredible for any film, but for a movie that almost requires you to go back and watch an entire season to know that everyone has done that. It's awesome. And then it's coming to American cinemas, and I'm curious how this story is going to translate from the small screen to the big screen, even though we look at Season 1 and how cinematic it is in terms of its storytelling, its animation style, the story of his boy who just wants to protect his sister and goes on this journey, learning all of these different abilities and making friends and enemies on the way. But what they set up in Season 1, kind of the transition that they're going through in this movie, is leading to, in my opinion, almost bigger and better things to come, which is crazy to think about. But a good way to look at this film, and this isn't a bash on it, is the bridge between Season 1 and Season 2. Because, you know, at the end of Season 1, we see them about to board this train, and they see Rengoku sitting inside, and we know that they're about to be in for an epic journey. But the whole time I'm sitting back thinking to myself, okay, are they going to set the entire film, or at least most of it, on board this train, and how are they going to pull that off? You have this one location, this one setting, but really it opens doors to different settings because of this journey, this mental journey that our characters are going on, and I'm talking almost all of our characters, especially our main two here, and we have Tanjiro and his crew, but really it's a journey for Tanjiro and kind of delving into his past a little bit, which we know a lot about at this point. Then we have the character of Rengoku. And if you've watched Season 1, then we already kind of have this love for him, but this was their opportunity to explore him, flesh him out. Such a great character, and this positivity, this confidence that he has about him in the first act in its entirety. But really it goes beyond that because we learn about where he came from and why he has the mentality that he has, and this, again, this confidence that is so evident throughout the movie. And Tanjiro, I mean, really Zenitsu and Inosuke as well, they see what he displays, and it's almost like we want to be that. We know, at least we think, we can never be that, but we want to have what he has. And the second we get introduced to him or reintroduced to him, we see that, and it's very evident the type of character this is going to be. But, oh man, I love to see it. And I love to see the exploration, especially of those two, but really our entire crew as well. Now, the more I think about it, the more I am saying people are probably going to go into this if they've never seen Season 1 and be extremely confused, even though they could definitely be emotionally moved. They're going to be asking themselves, okay, why is the girl in the box? And why is this guy asleep, but he's still able to fight? And what is going on? And I understand if this doesn't have the impact that it would have for someone who watched Season 1. But I'm a newbie. I'll admit I'm a newbie. I was not on board this train. See what I did there? Way back when it came out, I've just been catching up and kind of slowly realizing and seeing what the hype is all about. But you see the translation of this animation to the big screen and the backgrounds, along with the fight scenes, which we'll talk about, but the gorgeous landscapes and settings combined with the score. Oh my God. One of the best and most epic scores I've ever heard in an anime film. And we're talking Spirited Away. I actually watched Howl's Moving Castle about 2 weeks ago. Watched Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away. I'm working on a Studio Ghibli tier list, and I'm hearing some epic, moving, cinematic pieces of music that will move you in the best way possible. You combine that with the visuals, and I think that's why the anime genre is one of the absolute best genres that we have. This movie while I don't believe the story on its own, separated from the show, is maybe as impactful as some of those other films, this movie has everything you need to create what I believe to be the ultimate anime experience because you have the action, because you have the character development. Now, again, you probably have to have that backstory going in, but once we are here, the way that Tanjiro is developed throughout this film, and a lot of it isn't even in the now. A lot of it is this exploration, this journey that he's having in his head, but he's learning so many different things, and he's coming to realize some very important lessons, but they approach Rengoku essentially to train them on this train, but Rengoku is there to hunt because he is aware and he understands that there is a demon somewhere on this train. And from there we go on this journey that explores both the mind and the ins and outs and on top of the train, and it features all of the tropes, and I don't mean that in a bad way, that we love from Demon Slayer. And I'm talking both on an epic and emotionally moving level and then the comedy, right? And we understand, I mean, most of the films and TV shows in this genre, they are meant to be over the top. If you've never seen anime in your life, think of like Teen Titans in the United States, how they would switch up the animation style and have these jokes and sense of humor, which I absolutely love. So applying that to a show like this that has this incredible story, these characters, these story arcs, and then giving us moments to laugh out loud and appreciate these characters even more, and each one having their own quirk to it, from Inosuke, who is just a funny character on the surface because he runs around shirtless and wears a boar's head. I mean, you just see that and you're like, what is going on? But once you get to know that character, you get the quirks, what works, what doesn't work. And then Zenitsu, who is almost this shy and cowardice character, but there's something that happens in this film, and I don't want to get into specifics, but there are moments that we see him come to life, become confident, and he becomes this incredible fighter. And you get to see who they are on the inside, and the visual style and the animation brings that to life in such a way that is fluid and beautiful, absolutely moving. And every time there are moments throughout the film that maybe start to slow down, or you're waiting for the next big thing to happen, or the next moment with the demon, and even the demon gets a little fleshed out as well here. A backstory there that they do a great job of exploring. But every time something like that happens, we pick back up with an action scene, and there are so many memorable, from Rengoku to Tanjiro, who has joined the Demon Slayers to fight these monsters, but again, there is that hesitation that is explored extremely well, and then all of those things build up and lead up to the third act. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the film, I will tell you, you are going to, if you're sitting in an audience this weekend in the U.S., and you're surrounded by people who are in love with the show and everything that it stands for, there's going to be some tears. There's going to be some moments that will make them absolutely emotional, and that is warranted because, oh my goodness. And you're going to see some who are saying, well, it's just kind of extending that moment, and it's playing it out, and it's overly, but the animation style combined with the experience, combined with everything, made it for me one of the more moving moments I've gotten in quite a while, and it was, wow. My only criticisms are those in-between moments where you get the action that slows down and then you're just kind of waiting on the next big thing. And I understand we need that character development, but this is a bridge film. This is a bridge between Season 1 and Season 2. That is very evident, even though the contained and small-scale story, which I like in itself, is very, very good. Overall, as a fan of Season 1, I thought this was just excellent, and it is genuinely one of the best movies I've seen this year. For fans of the series, this one will prove to be as emotionally moving and action-packed as expected, and the visual style is second to none. I'm going an 88% with my score in 2021, just movies that I have reviewed. It is the highest score I have given thus far, and oh my goodness, Demon Slayer, the movie. We finally got to see it in the U.S., and it has taken over the world. I hope it continues to take over, and I hope it gets people to watch Season 1 just like it did myself. You guys the best. If you enjoyed this video, drop your thumbs up down below, and let me know, are you watching Demon Slayer in theaters this weekend? So, come back. We have more videos this weekend, a live reaction for the Oscars, and plenty more reviews. All right, I'll see you soon.